Good afternoon. We're here today to discuss DMARC, Security Protocol. Let's set up the scenario. Two email servers, you.com and customer.com. This is you, could be a school, could be a company, could be a government agency. You want to send an email to customer, to their email server. Send this email across. Problem with today's email servers, there's very little authentication. And this customer email server, when it talks to where the email comes from does not have to prove that it's actually the server sending that email. So what happens? Hackers come in and they say, hey, I'm really you.com. It's pretending to be you.com. It sends that email, but it says, oh, transfer that money into a bank account, but it's the hacker's bank account. How does DMARC play into this? Enter DMARC. DMARC now forces these two email servers to prove who they are. Okay, it's a protocol, deals with security keys, things like that. But when this email is sent, this customer email server says, wait a minute, prove who you are through the DMARC thing. And it says, oh yes, I see that these keys, etc., proves who it is. So it allows the email to be delivered to the person over here. Allows the email to be delivered. Now, with DMARC in place and a hacker comes in, tries to spoof this, and again, this is all called spoofing an email. Okay? It's called spoofing. Pretending to be somebody you're not. If DMARC is in place, this hacker comes in, sends the email, this customer server tries to authenticate it, and it says, nope, you're not the real server because this server, the hacker server, doesn't have the keys that this server has. So that DMARC is going to say, nope, this is a bad email, and it's going to take that email, not send it to the person, and it's either going to reject it, quarantine it, or just notify somebody that this email is bad. So again, in quick summary, it forces these two email servers to authenticate who they are, prove who they are. It stops the hacker from sending an email spoofing it, and guess what's on that email? Ransomware, right? So this stops spoofed emails, which might have incorrect bank accounts, things like that. It stops ransomware from being delivered, and it stops that email from actually going into the inbox. So this end user cannot click on it because it's not even delivered. So, sounds like a great thing to do, right? What's it cost? The cost is $0. It's included with your email servers as they are. The sad part is, guess how many companies implement, and what percentage of companies have not implemented this yet? 70% of the companies out there don't implement this. So we saw how DMARC functions. Now let's talk about how hackers attack DMARC. DMARC is controlled by a record, a server, a piece of information on the internet called DNS. Every request between computers go through a DNS server. Okay? That DNS server is basically the address book of the internet, and it says I want to go to google.com. DNS says, oh, I know how to route that, and it tells you. One of the functions of the DNS is a little, they call it a text record for DMARC. And this holds the keys. Well, hackers will get in here, and who controls your DNS could be GoDaddy, could be all sorts of companies that, whoever hosts your domain, your email domain, that's who controls this DMARC record. So if you've got DMARC in place, right, you've got DMARC in place here, and it's authenticating these email servers and keeping the hackers out, etc., was what hackers do is they go in and they'll manipulate this record, okay, that's at the DNS, and turn off DMARC. They have the ability to turn off DMARC by hacking into companies like GoDaddy, your hosting company, etc., These are typically much easier to get into than your servers. And you sometimes have very little control over these, especially GoDaddy. It's pretty insecure platform at times. So hackers get into this. So it's what you need to do with CyberWatch Pro. Pro comes into the picture here. They look at this record and they look for changes, right? Because what a hacker will do is they'll log in here, they'll change this DMARC record, they'll turn it off for a couple of hours, they'll send those bad emails, those hacker spoofed emails through, and then they'll turn it back on. And the company over here is none the wiser, nor the company over here is none the wiser. The attackers actually get in, turn the DMARC protocol on and off so that they can spoof emails, dump ransomware, etc., etc. So is what CyberWatch Pro does is it watches that DMARC record for changes. And it could be a week, it could be once an hour. The most aggressive plan is every 30 minutes, which is for really sensitive data. If you've got HIPAA data, something like that, it's recommended you watch it every 30 minutes.